confirmed. China's Zhejiang Geely has emerged as Proton's knight in shining armour, beating out French Paramount PSA Group. According to DRB-Hicom, Geely will buy 49.9% equity in Proton under an agreement that's set to be inked by the end of July. The Chinese automaker will be taking leadership in Proton's production management and sales and marketing divisions. However, DRB-Hicom Group MD Syed Faisal Albak gave his assurance that the Proton brand will remain present and it will stay a national car maker. Today's deal also sees Proton selling its entire equity in Lotus, with 51% going to Geely and 49% to Etika Automotive, set to be linked to tycoon Syed Mokhtar Al-Bukhari. According to Syed Faisal, DRB and Geely have already agreed on a ballpark figure for the transaction, but they're still negotiating on the final price. Meanwhile, Second Finance Minister Johari Abdul Ghani says the government will give Proton 1.1 billion ringgit as reimbursement for money spent on R&D in the past. Proton is, however, still required to repay its 1.25 billion ringgit soft loan, and Johari says there will be no more subsidies for the car maker from now on. CIMB Group Holdings posted record quarterly earnings in its first quarter, in line with a gradually improving regional economic environment and capital market activity. Net profit for the 3 months through March jumped 46% to some 1.2 billion ringgit. This was mainly on the back of higher interest, non-interest and Islamic banking income. Revenue climbed 17% to almost 4.4 billion ringgit. Group CEO Zafrul Aziz says the results are a testament to the stronger foundations CIMB has built since embarking on its T18 strategy. Looking ahead, he says the lender is cautiously optimistic for the rest of the year, with more stable economic conditions, increased regional activity, improved capital markets and declining provisions across its key geographies. CIMB's shares closed at a high of 6 ringgit 13 cent today, crossing the 6 ringgit mark for the first time in more than 2.5 years. Former Maybank Kim Eng remiser Kelvin Ang has become the 5th person to be convicted in Singapore in connection to a 1MDB probe. The 35-year-old Singaporean pleaded guilty to bribing a research analyst to speed up the preparation of a valuation report needed to support the acquisition of Petro-Saudi oil services. He was fined 9,000 Sing dollars. Ang is said to have dealt closely with former BSI banker Yeo Jia Wei, who was sentenced to a total of 30 months jail in December 2016. Yeo, who was said to have left BSI to work for Jolo, was convicted on 4 charges of witness tampering. 7-Eleven Malaysia saw its first quarter net profit halve, thanks to an increase in selling and distribution costs due to new store expansion and the impact of the minimum wage increase. Earnings were down about 50% to 8 million ringgit from almost 16 million a year ago. Revenue was marginally lower at 522.5 million ringgit. On its prospects, 7-Eleven says trading conditions for the rest of the current financial year are expected to remain challenging due to continued weak consumer spending and current macroeconomic conditions. Despite this, the convenience store chain is positive of holding on to its market-leading position. Property developer Magna says it's open to all possibilities when it comes to the development of the Lai Ming land in Jalan Ampang. Magna MD Rahadian Mahmud Muhammad Khalil says that other than an outright sale, the company would also consider a JV with other developers. Other than a JV, Magna would also consider being brought in as a turnkey developer if someone else bought the land. Magna has put the land up for sale since 2015, with a target price of 3,500 ringgit per square foot, according to reports. Today, Rahadian says that the market value of the land is closer to 3,400 ringgit per square foot, which puts the total price tag at just over 388 million ringgit. Rahadian goes on to explain that there has been no shortage of offers, but nothing that resulted in further negotiation.